so I'm fearing to give it to him. So mwenye amepoteza funguo ya gari ama azijui pikipiki, tafadhali njoo hapa uweze kuchukua. For the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, Baba Askofu, ningependa basi kumwalika kwa niaba ya walei wote wa jimbo kumkaribisha moderator wa jimbo, Lay Pastoral Council, Dr. Kitur, to give a very brief speech, very brief speech on behalf of all the Christians in the diocese. Karibisha chairman kwa makofi. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, His Lordship the Bishop, our Reverend Fathers and Sisters, thank you very much, all the Christians drawn from all the pastoral regions. And again, I want to ride on the already established protocol. Tumsifu Yesu Kristo. Daima na milele. Mine is to appreciate the bishop. The earlier speakers have already alluded to the noble idea that emanated from our bishop. And I want to take cognizance to the two running projects that we have in our diocese, the St. John and the one that we are raising funds today. Bishop, I want to thank your noble idea, and it is at this point that I want to call upon all the small Christian communities. Father Njure used the word concretized. And for the few of us who are here, those from Jumuias, you've seen this great and noble idea that Bishop has come up with. I'm sure whether we'll be in Nandi next year or rather we'll be in Elgeyo Marakwet, our Christians are benefiting from our own contributions. You have had the 120 surgeries, and not only the surgeries, we were told that those were major surgeries. So I want to call upon all the small Christian communities drawn from all the three regions to subscribe to this hospital through the NHIF that you have had, so that apart from the fundraisers that you will be having today and many others, of course you will have done it through the cards that we have within our churches. Otherwise, I know this is my first time standing before you. Bishop, I want to assure you that as we move on from today and any other time, the kind of support that is going to come from us as laity will be consummated. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Piga makofi daktari anapoketi kwa niaba ya walei wote, kwa niaba ya Kristo wote katika jimbo letu. Kuna wageni ambao wanafika, naona wengine ni wa Kimumu, ile parokia ya St. Barnabas Kimumu. Karibuni sana. Wamekuja wote kweli. Sisi nani anabaki kwa parokia? Asante sana. Nachukua nafasi hii basi kumkaribisha padri msimamizi wa mission office, Reverend Father James Kimani, to take the program from there. Thank you, Father.
Lordship, Bishop Dominic Kimengich, Very Reverend Vicar General, Very Reverend Episcopal Vicars, the priests, the sisters, brothers, and our dear Christians. 2 years ago, we had a dream. After the bishop appointed me to the Resource Mobilization Office, which is now called Mission Office, my task seemed a little bit complicated. I was required to seek resources for all the diocesan projects, and we also needed to reconnect with our international donors. And I have to say that for the last 2 years, we have managed to reconnect with our traditional donors. What sometimes we do not know is, apart from the projects that we see the bishop doing, there are other projects that most of us are completely unaware of. And sometimes the bishop cannot keep coming to us. So I must say that in the last 2 years, we have managed to get 58 million shillings for the diocese from our donors. We look forward to getting another 32 million shillings in the next few months. We know that there are other projects, like sometimes the bishop will ask you to support him, but there are other projects that we have to scratch our heads. One such project that we have been able to be funded is the project at Moi Referral Hospital, where we are building a chapel and a rectory for all our Christians who go to that hospital. When it will be finished, then for sure we will know that when our Catholic Christians are sick and they go to the hospital, they will have a chapel and they will have priests residing there because of our donors and because of the vision the bishop has. While we also needed to seek support for our projects within the diocese, my first challenge in the office was this diocesan hospital. When I visited the hospital for the first time, I saw the dire need of equipments to make it more efficient and modernized. I knew from the beginning how difficult it will be for us to get a donor for it. It was then that we sat with Bishop Dominic, and by scratching our heads, I introduced to him this idea of the bishop's dinner. I said, let us have a dinner, and then we can collect funds for the hospital. The bishop was very supportive, and he blessed me to begin this dream. I was eager to introduce this idea to our diocese. I immediately formed a committee, the committee that you saw here, and I shared this dream with the committee members. And even though it was a new concept to many, they shared in that dream. And together we have worked for the last 2 years, realizing this dream. The journey towards our first bishop's dinner was not easy. The concept was still very new to many. But on 25th of November 2022, we had the first dinner, a courageous move we made. And by being supported by our bishop, the clergy, and the Christian faithful, we managed to raise over 9 million shillings for our hospital. We have heard how that changed the operations of this hospital. Now the dream that we dreamt together is truly being realized. And we want to thank you very much for the contributions that you gave us last year. And as you can see, they have brought a big impact. The second dinner today is the second to our hospital. And this year, we went a little further. We wanted to involve all our Christians. So we invited the Christian communities and also the outstations. We have been going around the diocese advertising this dinner. And today I can see that our efforts have been blessed by your presence. We introduced the mission appeal concept also. Before, we used to go for mission appeals in the USA and Canada and beg money on behalf of the diocese. So this year we said, let's start by ourselves. So we had targeted 36 parishes for these mission appeals. And these mission appeals was to support our hospital. And most of the parishes were very positive. And I have to say, being our first appeal, we have done very well. The last I checked, we had collected 328,000 shillings from the mission appeals. And this money will go directly to this hospital. We look forward to buying the remaining needed equipments as requested by Sister, and we want to thank all of you for coming to support our hospital. This was not just a dream. It is part of the mission of Christ. Christ dreamed of this kingdom here on earth when he mandated his disciples to go to the whole world, proclaim the good news, baptize people, and make them disciples. The disciples set out, despite oppositions and persecutions, to proclaim the good news, first in Jerusalem and outside Jerusalem, to the ends of the earth. They did it with so much love, and today we are because of them. To be separated from the human condition. They found that they needed to feed the hungry. They needed to extend the mission of Christ by being compassionate to those in need. Indeed, compassion was the engine behind their mission. No wonder the etymology of this word in Latin means to suffer with. We cannot preach the gospel without suffering with our people. When the missionaries came to our lands, the compassion was part of the mission that made them build for us schools, hospitals, and even roads. And many times we were proud of our church. We'll say, look at our church. Look at how good the missionaries have done to us. But maybe we did not ask ourselves, who supported them? They were supported by people. There are people who sacrificed their resources to make sure that this mission did not fail. Now it is our turn. Compassion must be on our lips and our hearts. There is no leader, either religious or political, who can serve people well without compassion. This hospital here extends the hand of compassion of Christ to all who visit and all who are around it. Please let us not forget this. Even when we equip our hospitals with modern equipments, let compassion be our witness. This compassion compels us to find and fund many other projects. After this project of the hospital, I hope that the Bishop's Dinner in the next year will identify other